Let's take a few of these off. These are ready to go. Make something inside. Look at that. So today I am going to show you 2 crops that you can plant in your garden that really don't take much effort and not a lot of time. And in one case, you don't even have to plant it once you get it started over a couple seasons. And I'm going to explain to you why. Quick overview of the 2 things we're going to look at. My cayenne peppers. You can see down in here. And the second thing we're going to talk about are going to be the Thai long beans that you see growing here, going up the cattle panel. We've been growing cayenne and Thai long beans probably for a good 7 to 10 years. And every single year so far, these take the least amount of effort. And I think this summer, we're in August of 2024, I have watered this bed right here, this particular bed right here, I think twice only this summer. We live in St. Louis, Missouri, zone 6A. And I've got the hose out from yesterday when I watered. We don't get a lot of water. We don't get a lot of rain here in this area. But these plants, the cayenne in particular, don't require a lot of water. With the caveat of depending on how good your soil is. So this particular bed, I don't really amend it. We've had these for a little over 10 years. And every late fall, early winter, what I do is, you can see the property that we have here. We have a lot of trees, a lot of leaves. All of the leaves that fall for the month of, I would say, October, November, early December, we shred those up, and I fill all of my raised garden beds with shredded leaves. And just over time, it accumulates to the point to where it breaks down, feeds the soil. I've got fantastic soil here. And with good soil, it tends to kind of offset when you don't get a lot of rain and you don't need to water a lot. So let's take a look at the cayenne first. And you can tell just how much I've neglected my garden this season. This is the first season in probably 10 years that I haven't really kept up with it. So just kind of having a down year in gardening as far as the effort. Just kind of got a little burned out, but I can always count on my cayenne, and I can always count on my Thai long beans to just produce, even when I just don't feel like doing much. Let's take a closer look real quick on the cayenne. You can see every one of the plants is just loaded with, look how big these beauties are. I would say each one has 10 to 12 cayenne that are probably 12, 13, 14 inches long. Let's take a look down here. They get all day sun. And I'm trying a couple different growing methods this year initially, using some old wire tomato planters. I like using these for my peppers to kind of keep everything upright. And then the other test was, I have 2 of the cayenne without the tomato cages. And you can see they get so loaded down with fruit that the plant just falls over. But even these are doing really, really well. Again, look at the size of these. So, what I was saying before, the majority of my soil amendment is shredded leaves that I just add every year. You can see all this worm poop. The soil is fantastic. It's a little dry simply because, like I said, I don't water hardly at all. And again, this year, I think I've watered this area of the garden twice. And it's only because we had gone extended weeks of temperatures in the 90s and the 100s, no rain. And I felt bad for the plants. But that's the great thing about cayenne. Let's take a few of these off. These are ready to go. Make something inside. Look at that. And I am red-green colorblind, so sometimes it's hard for me to tell which ones are red. But you cannot complain about cayenne that looks like this. Like I said, low effort. It's all squished up there. Let's get some over here. Aren't these just beautiful? Look at this. So cayenne does very well here. St. Louis is zone 6A. Let's put these off to the side. So the other thing I want to talk to you guys about is the Thai long beans. Now I have aggressively harvested these over the last 3 weeks or so. And you can't keep up with beans in general. Specifically the Thai long beans are what I grow. I love the color. Really adds a pop in, all sorts of dishes that you can make, and the color that comes out, when you make your food just look different, kind of helps out, especially when you get tired of beans, right? At least make the food look pretty. Sometimes they'll grow out like this, which it's all, they all taste the same. Whoops. Sometimes you got to worry about reaching down to pick up your long beans because you'll pick up a snake. I had that happen a couple seasons ago. I reached down to grab something I thought was a bean. It was a little snake. These here I do for stir fries. You can saute them, just have them like you do with regular green beans. Now the interesting thing about my Thai long beans, I didn't plant these. And you're probably saying, well, Brian, if you didn't plant them, how did it get here? So if you fast forward a few months from now, when the bean plant dies, and then these are all mature and you're so tired of beans, you just leave them up, they'll drop the beans onto the ground. And so what I've done the last couple seasons is, in the spring, your bean plants will just start to sprout up on the ground. And what I do is I pull them and I transplant them over into my beds. All of these beans here that you see, these are from just 2 bean plants that I transplanted from the ground here. Just moved them over here. From the ground here, moved it over here. So didn't even have to plant beans this year. And look at this. There's a beautiful little flower. So we do a lot of food prep, my wife and I, and we make all sorts of dishes, and we add in beans whenever we want to add in some bulk. And I mean, a little goes a long way, but like I said, we can't keep up with 2 bean plants. It's crazy how productive these are. And again, they do really well. I just dropped some beans down there, and those will probably overwinter, and then those will be beans for next year. But what do you think? So if you're into gardening and you want some low effort, high reward type veggies to grow that, you know, you don't have to worry about water. You really, I mean, if you feed your soil consistently over time, you really don't have to worry about feeding the plants or watering them. They just kind of do it. So this is a great example this year in low effort, very minimal watering. I don't even fertilize really, other than, like I said, just taking care of the soil on a yearly basis with shredded leaves. And this is the production that you get. And if you guys like this video, maybe the next one we can do is talk about our other hot peppers that we do. These do just as well as the cayenne. The cayenne just, they show on camera a little better. You know what I'm saying? These are my Caribbean reds, I believe. Habaneros. And then there's one bean plant that I transplanted that was growing out in the grass. I put it there just to have some extra beans, and then I've forgotten about it. So we're going to have a whole bunch of beans coming from that one too. So let me know if you guys want me to talk about my Caribbean reds. Look at that. Look at those. All right, that's it for me today.